All right, so I got some new samples. Didn't think that I was going to find anything so interesting, but I happened across an IG page actually. I forget the name, but the name of the company is UNYTEA, UNYT, and they were advertising Japanese white tea, and so I've never had Japanese white tea. I was very interested. In the past, I've had a lot of Chinese white teas, and they're not my favorite. My go-to is the Darjeeling white tea. That's kind of my thing. And so I figured I would try out some Japanese white teas. When I went to the site, I also saw a Cultivar 21. This is a Taiwanese white tea grown on the Alishan mountain. It's not a milk oolong, which are my favorite, but it is a, I don't know. I think the website said that they're typically grown for red teas, Taiwanese black, basically. But they pick them early, I guess, and they make a white tea out of it. The leaf is very nice. I mean, it is exactly what I like to see in a white tea, where there is just very little processing. It's just plucked and then left to dry. And then typical of a Taiwanese tea, you have the stem there. There's a rather large leaf and then usually a small bud. So really happy with the quality and the look of the leaf. Really beautiful. The nose on this, it's really sweet, kind of juicy, I call it. But I'm not able to like pinpoint anything specific. It's really sweet. Maybe not floral, but it's not floral. It's definitely like, but it's not fruit either. You know what it is? It's like processed sugar. You know, it's like some kind of candy or something. You know. So anyway, let's check out this cold brew. Really enjoyed watching this thing in the fridge overnight. Just really draw out all of the tannins and everything from the leaf. Again, very, very beautiful. I love the white teas just because I think it's just as pure as you can get as far as tea goes, because it's literally just plucked and then dried. Nothing more. All right. There's the color. I'd say typical of a white tea, maybe a bit darker. Wow. Wow. Was not expecting this. I can say right away that this is a tea that you can definitely impress your tea friends with. Just from the cold brew. It's different. It's different. That juiciness that I smelled in the dry leaf is definitely there in the cold brew. No question about it. I mean, it's literally the exact same thing. But like I said, it's not floral. It's not a fruit or anything. I can't say bubble gum, but it does remind me of like some sort of juicy, sweet candy or something, you know? Man, I want some more of that. And the reason why is because it is definitely, again, the very sweet but there is some dryness, I think maybe in the aftertaste or something like that. No bitterness at all. None. Um, Again, really pretty color. Definitely what you'd expect out of a white tea. There's just enough sort of yeah, it's kind of dry as the best way to describe it. But it lets you know that what you're drinking is a leaf. You know what I mean? It's just enough there to let you know you're drinking a leaf. It's almost as if, yeah, I mean, it lets you know that you're drinking a leaf. It's just a little dry, more kind of in the aftertaste, but that sweet, like juiciness, just it's all the way through. It never stops from beginning to end. Okay, now I have given this some thought. I am going to wash these leaves. And honestly, it doesn't look like it needs it because, again, it's supposed to be, you know, just plucked and then dried, right? No processing, so no no worries about see all those leaves in there. They're huge. But yeah, they look really clean though. Look really clean, really pretty. But I'm still gonna wash it though. I think just to be safe, sanitary reasons. But I also want to get a good smell of the wet leaf too. And so I'm gonna do this really fast. And I know that white teas are typically not brewed super hot. You can burn the leaf, you can damage the leaf. I know that. But I'm going to do it anyway, just to see what happens, you know, just like kind of put this thing through its paces. This is interesting. Look at that. Look at that wash. Look how cloudy that is. And it's like a vibrant green almost. I've never seen that before. That is so strange. I'm not sure what's going on there. May have something to do with the glass too. I don't really get anything from the wash. All right, let's see what we get from this wet leaf. Oh, okay. So now this is reminiscent for me of those Darjeelings, because you have that kind of wet leaf smell, and then kind of in the background there's that sweetness. But the sweetness is definitely there. It's very close to a Darjeeling, but not as dark and as deep as a lot of the Chinese white teas I've had, or as green, you know. So my experience with Chinese white teas are they're either super light or very green or very dark, you know. And I do prefer the more darker Chinese white teas, but again, Darjeeling white teas are really kind of my thing. So much so that I don't even buy Chinese white teas anymore. The aged white teas are really good, but anyway, this one it reminds me more of a Darjeeling than it does a Chinese white tea. And as the heat dissipates, that wet leaf aroma really goes away, and you're just left with that juicy sweetness I talked about. Now, one of the things that I am a little concerned with is steep time. So I'm going to do this really fast on the first one. I think that's like maybe 5 seconds, something like that. They do put brew times on the bag. And so, of course, like I said, I'm not really paying much attention to that. I'm just going to do the first one really hot, see what happens, and then step the temperature down afterwards. But yeah, man, I like this smell. And again, that's a very quick brew, very pretty. Definitely more green than the cold brew for sure. And I'm sure that has everything to do with the temperature. So I'm expecting this to taste rather a bit more green than the cold brew did. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, sort of it's a weak brew. Um, I think that's to be expected. You know, it was very fast, right? But you do get that green leaf flavor coming out. And so what that tells me right away that I already knew is this tea is going to definitely want lower temps and longer steep times. But I do like the greenness of this one. It's not like really green, and let's talk about this too because I keep comparing the Chinese and Darjeelings. The Darjeelings have a tendency to be spicy. You know what I mean? Um, and then, like I said, the Chinese teas have a tendency to be either like too green or very light, um, or really dark. And this one is really sort of in the middle.